All right, welcome back to Cooking with Legs. Doing really easy today. I'm going to take some chicken thighs. I'm going to sear them off real good to get a crispy skin. Then make a quick pan sauce with some white wine and cream. Put that in the oven, let them braise for another couple of minutes. And while they're braising, I'm going to fix some asparagus for me and some broccoli for the kids. Just a real simple weeknight meal. We will get this started right now. I want to do the prep. I'm going to make a quick little seasoning thing with the mortar and pestle for the chicken. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, this is the asparagus I like. It's nice and still kind of thin. When it gets real thick, I don't really like it a whole lot. It gets kind of, I don't know, it's a weird texture to it. These are perfect. The salt, pepper, and garlic powder in there. Doing asparagus like this is exactly kind of the shade you want, but it's mixing the balsamic and the oil. So that's prepped. That's done. So now we're just going to prep the stuff for the sauce, which is going to be an onion and some parsley. Okay. Now with the wine, I'm making a white wine cream sauce, so we're going to have white wine in it. And you can buy the white wine cooking wine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a little generic in flavor. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I mean, I do the same thing for Marsala. Sometimes I just use the store stuff, but generally you want to use what you're going to cook with. What we're going to use is something Silver Run Winery. It's a local winery here. My wife and I love that stuff. But yeah, generally speaking, the rule of thumb is whatever you're going to drink with dinner or would drink with dinner, that's what you want to cook with. I tend to follow that rule when it comes to red wine and white wine, especially. Anyway, just wanted to make sure I mentioned that at some point. What better time than while you're trying to chop an onion, right? All right, I got some garlic in here right now. To the garlic, I'm going to add some of my salt, pepper, and garlic. And as much as I'm not generally a fan of pre-made seasoning blends, but I am a huge fan of this Weber's, some of Weber's stuff. This kicking chicken is great. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that to there. Not a lot, just a little. And to that, I'm going to add some fresh oregano, a couple of fresh oregano leaves. Just want to run your hand down the stalk and get the leaves in there. And some fresh thyme. Well, yeah, the thyme is fresh. Just picked up the thyme yesterday. So just run your hand down the leaves. Just run your hand down the stem. Pound this down with the pestle. What we're looking to do is make a paste. A little trick with this, if you get to where you're not getting much of a paste, because if that garlic isn't, pulverizing or liquefying fast enough, you can add a little bit of olive oil to it. Because we're going to end up coating the chicken with this and some olive oil. So you can just add some oil to this. This is doing pretty good though. I guess my hand's in the way, huh? This is pretty much done. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go take the chicken, I'm going to rinse it and dry it, put it in a Ziploc bag, and I'll be right back. So the chicken's in the bag, right? You want to make sure you dry it first before you do any of this. I had it thawed out. I went ahead and dried it. You want the skin kind of dry because you want the skin to hold on to the seasoning. We're not doing a wet marinade so much as this. So just take that, dump your little pasty stuff in there. It's granite, it's not going to hurt. When you get it all kind of evened out, you're going to kind of get an even spread, about like this. You're going to put everything in the fridge now. Going to start cooking in 4 hours maybe. So we got all the prep work done. Then put everything away and clean up. All right, so 4 hours are up. We're fixing to get started right now. Have the pan heating up, have the oven heating up. We're just going to get the chicken seared and then throw it in the oven. All right, so we got the oil in the pan getting hot. We're about to add the chicken. If you look, that just the dry marinade, it's already changed the color and gotten good into the skin. That sizzle is what you're listening for.
No. I want that sizzling.
Ordinarily, you would flip this quite a bit, but because you want a good hard sear, you want that skin to get crispy, it's going to sit like that for about between 8 and 12 minutes, depending on how hot the pan is. So just see how this goes from here. Most important part of this is don't mess with it. Let the chicken and this pan do its own job. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. All right, for people that don't cook very often, here's how I know when it's ready to flip. You see how it looks like it's kind of cooked along the sides here? That means it's cooked most of the way through. So you go ahead and flip it, and it's been about maybe 10 minutes now. And that skin is nice and crunchy, crispy. So we're just gonna cook the bottom part of it a little bit, maybe 4 or 5 minutes tops. And then we're gonna take it all out and start on the sauce. This is going to be so good. All that herb and all that spice in there. So after about 4 or 5 minutes, you're going to pull the chicken out. And my daughter wants to learn how to cook, so she's going to take over with the sauce for a little bit. I'll talk it through. Stand back, it's going to pop a little bit, so just dump the onions in.
Just put them in?
Just dump them in.
I got some.
So how is 1 of 15.8 million pounds?
So after the onions cook down for a few minutes, you're going to throw some butter in and then the garlic. Grab the wine. Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. Then after you add the wine and crank the heat up and let that reduce for a little bit. Chicken and all that cooked to the pan. And if you look when I do this, the pan's all clean at the bottom. All the stuff that was stuck to the pan comes up. That's just like free flavor. And then if you look now, it's gotten darker and it's getting even thicker. This is about where we're going to want to add the cream and the capers and the lemon juice.
Well, I'm going to go take the lemon.
Now when you add the cream to this, you want to drop the heat a little bit. You don't want the cream to separate. You want it to all kind of combine. So we're going to add just a little bit of lemon juice here too. Squirt lemon juice in it. That's good right there. Basically, you're going to kill the heat now because it's all thickening up. It's all coming together. We're going to add some capers to this now.
Nom. Yummy. One flew out of.
Now see that it's a nice thick sauce here. Now we're going to put the chicken back in. And make sure we cover the chicken with the sauce and put it in the oven for 15 minutes. During that 15 minutes, we're going to start working on the vegetables. So we're going to kind of fit them in there.
Yummy. Give that yum back.
I need you, high roller. That says the asparagus down. Just cooking it in the olive oil and balsamic vinegar that we had it sitting there earlier. Gonna add just a touch more salt, pepper, and garlic powder to it. Chicken should be coming up in about 8 minutes. And it will be plating up to go.